tonight on the education of Max Bickford.
This is one of the texts for my pop culture course.
Everyone says it's a great class.
You're studying tattoos. It's fluff. It's a cakewalk.
Dad.
Cat House magazine is coming to Chadwick.
What would you do if Nell was going to pose for it?
Nell is going to pose.
It's time to shake my moneymakers.
Max Bickford here. Wants to talk to you about sibling rivalry in the department meetings, backstabbing, professional jealousy, and audio-visual equipment. Andrea Haskell wants 92% of our media budget. Laser pointers, digital video, 50 hours of tech time to key up music and visuals for her lectures, a turntable setup. Is Run DMC going to be a guest lecturer in her class?
And this involves me how?
She's hogging all the toys.
Oh, yes, she did mention sibling rivalry. Look at this. It's an editorial saying that I'm setting back the women's movement 20 years, sullying the reputation of Chadwick, and shirking my duties as president.
20 years? That's a long time. What did you do?
More about what I haven't done. Surely you've heard of the Cat House magazine, Girls of the All-Girls School's new pictorial.
Actually, I haven't, but my subscription ran out in 1972.
Well, Cat House magazine is coming to Chadwick. Oh, but wait until you hear this.
Yes?
A courageous and effective president would expel any woman who poses.
You think there's any way we can get away with caning these women? Shunning. They're calling for a shunning, as in anyone who poses, no one else on campus should acknowledge their existence.
That's the idea.
Is that it? Let me see this thing. Judith, if they put you in one of those little pillory things, I can't promise that I won't throw something.
Max, go handle your AV prices on your own.
Once upon a time, Schuyler lived his life with a sort of jaunty quality, a kind of Gene Kelly thing. At least, that's what he'd always told himself. These days, though, most things made him feel inadequate or obsolete. Love, sex, money, cable TV, the internet. But there was one thing he could always depend on, no matter what else life threw at him in the way of little surprises. He was always good at his job. Hearts and minds. Hearts and minds. Now, during his presidency, LBJ used this phrase a lot. What was he talking about?
That phrase was sort of shorthand for the U.S. pacification policy in Vietnam.
More.
It was an effort during the war in which we built hospitals and schools, developed education programs, promoted the democratic processes.
That's true, but by using this specific phrase, hearts and minds, what was LBJ really trying to say?
Well, in the pure military sense, we were losing the war. Johnson knew that.
That's right. A journalist wrote that our strategy there was like a sledgehammer hitting a floating cork. The cork just refused to stay down.
Right. And so by turning the war into a struggle for the hearts and minds of the Vietnamese people, he wasn't just pursuing a military victory. He was making it more into a contest between our way of life and theirs. I mean, it was like all part of his vision of a great society.
Very good. Very good. It was especially pleasing to Schuyler, on those rare occasions, when he came across someone as gifted and talented as he thought he was.
Dr. Bickford, you got a moment?
Mr. Williams, come in. What can I do for you?
I'm doing my thesis at Amherst on LBJ and the tragic dimensions of his presidency.
Well, he was a president with a lot of tragic dimensions. Which ones did you want to focus on?
Well, Here was this white Southerner who did more to advance the cause of civil rights than probably any president since Lincoln. But his pursuit of the Vietnam War pretty much ruined his presidency. That's what I call a tragedy.
Yeah, it is. How do you think that happened to him?
Well, he became president because of Kennedy's assassination. It's ironic that Kennedy is known as the great statesman when LBJ may have only pursued the war because Kennedy started it.
That's a controversial statement.
I know. See, that's why I want to work with you, to argue, be rigorous.
Well, if you work with me, I'll expect you to be rigorous and narrow your focus. Excuse me. Schuyler had discovered that people usually follow two kinds of leaders. Wise men like Socrates and Schuyler, and the Pied Piper kind that led them into the deep, dark forest and filled their minds with dreck. Ladies?
Professor?
Look, I appreciate Dennis Rodman's nude form as much as the next straight 52-year-old man, but I'm in the middle of office hours, and Mr. Williams and I were trying to discuss, academics.
Actually, so were we. This is one of the texts that I'll be using for my lower division pop culture course.
Huh. I know you.
You set the termite traps at my dad's house.
Ah, that's right.
Oh, Nell, this is Vince.
Vince.
Hey.
Maybe you better go. I've got some chem homework to do, so I'll see you later, though.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Whatever. Hey, good homework.
No longer bi-curious?
Well, for me, it's all about the person, not the gender.
Uh-huh.
Besides, my dad almost had a heart attack when he found out about Sarah.
Your dad found out about Sarah.
I told him. Ever since he sat me down to tell me that he was leaving Mom for Rebecca, we have this totally honest relationship.
Well, he'll love Vince the Exterminator.
What the hell is wrong with Vince?
Not a thing. I'm just saying that your dad'll flip when he meets the guy.
The next time you attack my credibility, my dedication to feminist causes, and my loyalty to this college and your newspaper, I'd appreciate an opportunity to respond.
With all due respect, President Bryant, the Washington Post doesn't call the president to let him know that they'll be questioning his leadership the next day.
It's quite a different scope we're talking about here.
The dynamic's the same, though?
Fine. I didn't bring you in here to talk about my hurt feelings. Cutting to the chase. Are you serious about this shunning?
Completely serious.
You're asking the women of this college to quit speaking to any peer who chooses to pose in this magazine.
Not speak to them, yes, but more than that, we should completely disassociate with them. Quit clubs if one of these women joins, or boycott a student play if one of these women is in the cast.
I take it that you're quite certain that you're on the right side of this issue.
You mean the side that says that pornography is degrading to women? The side that says that the molestations and rapes inspired by pornography hurt women? The side that acknowledges that most of the women working in the porn industry are there for the same desperate reasons other women become prostitutes? Yeah, I'm pretty certain. But then I'm not familiar with the porn advocacy literature. What's their case anyway?
I think it has something to do with freedom of speech and women being smart enough to make up their own minds. All right, Miss Bird, I'll be clear about a couple things. I'm not thrilled about Cat House magazine coming to our campus, and I despise the idea of shunning. I could shut down Chadwick News if I deemed it necessary. However, I respect your right as a journalist to do what you're doing. But if I hear of any kind of harassment occurring as a result of your newspaper stance, I'll take whatever measures necessary to protect the Chadwick student body, naked or otherwise.
He is a really bright kid. He's doing his senior thesis on the tragic dimensions of the LBJ presidency.
Wow. Well, if Cat House will publish her dimensions, I think I will buy a copy.
Josh, how can you stand being such a pig?
Oh, I'm blessed with a complete lack of self-awareness.
Anyway, he has these really insightful connections and original thoughts about...
Anybody for a betting pool? Which of our students will pose for Cat House?
Maybe you should pose. Find out what it feels like.
Excuse me!
What?
Being objectified.
I was not objectifying. Was I objectifying?
I don't have the slightest idea. I was too busy talking to myself.
Wow. You know, everybody is very touchy today.
I'm not touchy. I'm not touchy. I am inspired by a student, by his intellect.
I know that's not as exciting as handicapping co-eds, but what the hell, I'm an old-fashioned guy.
So easy.
He's a visiting student from Amherst. He's asked me to be his thesis advisor. You know when the last time that happened was? Me neither.
Maybe you should advise this Carla Bird.
What is this shunning business? What is she, a religious fanatic?
I don't think that's where she's coming from.
No, she's coming from the 17th century.
Okay, she's a bit dogmatic, but she's a top student, and she has a point. Pornography shapes men's views about women. I should know.
Okay, wait. See, that's not fair. You have to pick a sex as your own. You can't claim to be an expert about what men think and what women think.
Why not? I was a man, I am a woman.
Yeah, but if you were always a woman trapped in a man's body, then how can you possibly have first-hand knowledge how pornography affects a man's point of view?
I think you should wear a dress for a couple weeks.
No, I think
Honey,
you should
I'd
look
like
at
to
pornography
see
and tell me exactly what you
That's
think
what
about
I'd like
it.
to
I'll give you a homework.
Stop! From the bridge again. Alec, count us off. Adam, come in on the upbeat.
Nell, we've been playing this bridge all day. It's no fun anymore. Seriously.
Fun. Practice isn't supposed to be fun. The fun part is getting up on stage and blowing a room away.
Yeah, but Nell,
Yeah.
how would we know? We've never played a real gig.
I understand lasagna. But vegetarian lasagna?
I like vegetarian lasagna.
Not as much as meaty lasagna.
Well, Nell likes vegetarian lasagna better.
Aha. Lester, is Nell coming over?
She might. Told her I needed some help with my homework. That's probably her.
Probably.
Hey, black girl, what you got for me? Something smells good.
Lasagna. Vegetarian. Want to stay for dinner?
Hey, yeah, dinner seems cool.
I'll set you a place.
Lester, this is math. You're better at math than I am.
Doesn't matter. Finished it anyways.
And so they're all like, we didn't join a rock band to practice all the time. Do you think we're ready for clubs?
Country clubs?
Nightclubs. I mean, I don't know. I mean, we only have about 45 minutes of
How
material.
are your classes going?
They're fine. Fine.
What happens after 45
Poli Sci.
minutes?
You were worried about that one.
B. Maybe a C.
And American Lit? You got Hart Hansen for that, right? He's tough, but he's good.
I dropped it.
What?
I dropped it. I tanked on the first major paper, and there was no way that I could pull up my grade enough, so I dropped it.
You're a good writer. Nell, what happened?
I just couldn't stay awake in his class. The guy just stood up there for an hour and 15 minutes and droned on
Hart
and on.
Hansen
Anybody
and I
want any
started
ice
out
cream?
together. He's a terrific teacher. He was professor of the year.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's any good today.
Oh, blame the teacher, not the
Please
student.
don't
Blame the
fight.
daughter, not the boring colleague.
Oh, you're not in high school anymore, Nell. What is he supposed to do? Juggle?
Oh, I don't know.
Tell
Maybe he
jokes?
could change his inflection every
don't
once in a
fight.
while.
You know, maybe you ought to use some of this band practice time a little more
And there it
productively.
is. How did I know that's what you were thinking?
I just want you to set some priorities.
I have. They're just
Shut
not
up.
yours.
Why can't we just have dinner like a normal family? Why do you always have to spoil it?
Hey, did you see this?
Nell dropped her American Lit class. Picture of an empty hallway.
Yeah, the school newspaper stationed a photographer in the hallway outside the hotel room where any prospective girls of the girls' school models were supposed to get their test photos taken. Apparently, the threat of shunning has scared them all away.
Are you serious?
Would I make this up?
Well, that's pretty medieval. It's like taking pictures outside of abortion clinics or gay clubs. Stalinism.
Well, aren't you going a little bit overboard?
No, I don't think so. Doesn't matter whether it's your reproductive organs or your political party. You have the right to choose.
Agreed. But do you really think that the founding fathers had T and A in mind while framing the First Amendment?
What they had in mind...
Well, I mean, don't you at least find it ironic that what we're talking about here is defending a woman's right to be exploited?
No, I don't, actually. And I was serious. Nell dropped Hansen's lit class. She says he's boring.
He is boring.
Art Hansen, he's a former professor of the year. He's tough.
He's a boring old fart, Max. I should know. He's in my department. His student evaluations have been going down every year. Talk to you later.
Can I help you?
Yeah. Can you tell me who does the booking here?
It's me. Name's Whammo. Your boyfriend sent you down with a tape trying to get his band booked?
It's my band.
Oh, no. Chick band. Ernest songs about the pain of life. No, thank you.
Listen to the tape.
I don't book off tapes. Anybody can sound good on tape. What's your name?
Nell.
No, I mean the band's name.
Oh. Avalon Street.
Never heard of you. Chick band, stupid name.
This coming from a guy named Whammo? And it's not a chick band. I'm the only female in it.
Stop while you're ahead.
Look, if you don't book off tapes, how do you decide who plays?
Reputation, word of mouth. If I never heard of you, that means you're not gonna draw. The only people that new bands draw are the people who already love them.
We've got the most requested song on the Chadwick College radio station. We'll do our own publicity, we'll flyer the whole campus, and we'll get people in here.
Well, there is something to be said for hungry. I got an open slot on Monday. Don't suck too bad.
So, we can see there are many twists and turns to this story. Miss Connors, what about the Frog King story surprised you the most?
That the princess didn't kiss the frog? She hurled it against the wall. I've never heard it told that way.
Okay, so, why do you think that the story has evolved in this way, Miss Connors?
Ugly guys wanted to get laid too?
Perhaps, although I was actually looking for some mention of the frog as a surrogate for Christ. After he was smashed against the wall, he rose again and turned into a prince, the Son of God. It stands to reason that modern society, as it killed God, needs to bend the morals of the story in order to support...
Come on, that's not the reason the story changed.
Please.
It's obvious. In the original version, the princess gets her way by being ruthless and assertive. Women aren't supposed to be rewarded for that. If we don't do what the patriarchy tells us, we're vilified.
And if we don't do what the sisterhood tells us, we're shunned. What's a girl to do?
Well, I think it's very interesting that we look at the feminist interpretation. In The Color Purple, Seeley says that all men under their pants are frogs. Now, what does this lead us to?
We're using peer pressure to affect positive change.
Oh, do you think that's the same rationale used on shunned Bosnian rape victims?
No, shunning women who are rape victims is a patriarchal horror show. The correct analogy would be shunning the men who raped them. Would you be against that?
Yes, but you are not saying shun the publisher of Cat House.
He isn't a student here.
You are right out of the Scarlet Letter. You are a mean-spirited hypocrite who believes it's your duty to ostracise a sinner.
Okay, ladies.
I didn't say sin. You're obsessed with
No,
sin.
who do you
I
think
am
you
talking
are?
about selfishly
Judgment
profiting
of
from
me?
an act of
Ladies!
kindness.
This is a worthy political, moral issue. But we are not the McLaughlin group. Now, I want you to think deeply about this. And particularly about shunning.
How'd you like to be Johnny Depp's girlfriend and always see that Winona Forever tattoo?
I'd learn to live with it.
Besides, he had part of it removed. It just says Wino forever now.
Hey, did you know that Truman Capote said that the one consistency he found when working on In Cold Blood was that all the criminals he talked to had tattoos?
Those are men, though. I think a tattoo on a woman says something entirely different. It says slut.
It does not.
It shouldn't, but that's how guys interpret it.
Oh, hey, look, we've got our own little focus group. Theo, come on in here and represent the entire male population for a moment.
Oh, I just had a question about the syllabus.
Which I'll be happy to answer once we've picked your brain.
Deal.
Oh, wait, I can't read it. 48 minutes to play, a lifetime to remember.
It was my high school football coach's favorite saying. I was young and impressionable.
What is that, a soldier?
No, it's a Minuteman. We were the John Adams Minutemen.
Nice. Professor, can I help you with something?
Withdrawal slips. for your signature.
Come in. Dr. Bickford.
Hi, Brenda. Nell around?
Nope. Band practice. They've been going at it like crazy lately. I hardly see her.
Tell her I'll catch up with her later, all right?
Dr. Bickford, do you have a minute? I wanted to get your opinion on something.
Sure.
Do you mind coming inside? It's kind of private.
What's up?
You know that Cat House magazine is doing a pictorial here at Chadwick.
I have been made aware of this, yes.
Would you completely freak? I mean, what would you do if you found out that Nell was going to pose for it?
Nell is gonna pose for this magazine?
No, 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 no. Oh, no. Me. I'm thinking about it, and I just wanted a father's opinion.
Well, I don't think I represent the mainstream on this one, Brenda, but if Nell wanted to, it's her body. She's an adult, and I suppose it's up to her. I think that most other fathers would be less than Is this your book?
No, that's for Nell's new class.
Would you see that she gets this?
Sure.
Goodbye, Brenda. She has never, not once, demonstrated the slightest interest in American studies. As a matter of fact, she's always asking me, why did I choose such a boring field to go into?
And you know this how? Because you showed up at her room unannounced like Sergeant Joe Friday.
Hey, aren't you a little young to know about Sergeant Joe Friday?
Okay, Joe McCarthy, don't change the subject, Max. You
The
cannot...
line has been crossed. Let the floodgates open.
What?
One of Chadwick's finest said up yours to the newspaper and shut up the Cat House hotel room.
This is Kim. She's in my class.
Talk about Joe McCarthy.
Did you hear? Some girl's doing it. She's testing for Cat House. I'm going down there. I'm gonna do it.
Of course you are.
What's that supposed to mean?
It means that you'll probably get to torture your father some more, so of course you're gonna do it.
For your information, I'm doing it because Vince thinks that it'd be totally hot. And it's $1,000. And besides, if there is one person on this campus who isn't qualified to lecture anyone on father-daughter relationships, it's you.
Well, if Vince thinks it's totally hot, go for it. Go shake those moneymakers.
How did you get so judgmental? I asked your dad about it, and he's like, no sweat. You know, you're an adult. It's your body.
You talked to my dad about this?
Yeah. And by the way, you really nailed him with that new class you added.
What are you talking about?
He stopped by. He left you a note. Didn't you see it?
There still seems to be some confusion about the style rules that I want followed on your papers, so I'm going to explain it now, and then don't ask me again. Endnotes or footnotes. Either way, I don't care.
I have a question.
Kim.
The school newspaper, such that it is, has called for all students to walk out of class at noon next Friday and march on the president's office to protest the administration's lack of action regarding Cat House's presence here.
That wasn't a question.
Yeah. My question is, isn't that right in the middle of our midterm?
Dr. Bettis?
Yes, Paula.
I was hoping you'd allow me to take my midterm at another time. I'll take it earlier than the class or later than the class, whatever you want.
Why did you call for the walkout in the middle of our midterm?
It was 3 in the morning. I was delirious and upset, and I screwed up.
So you want me to reschedule your midterm because you accidentally scheduled a protest in the middle of it?
Well, yeah?
I can't do that.
I don't want to automatically fail my midterm. That would ruin my GPA.
Then change the time of your
No,
demonstration.
I can't do that. It's announced. Everybody is showing up at that time.
I can't make an exception for you.
Are you kidding? You make exceptions for lacrosse players. Isn't what I'm doing a little more important than a lacrosse game?
Accommodating team schedules is school policy. And, Carla, what exactly is it that you're doing?
I knew it. You have the instinctive response of...
Of what?
Well, I guess once a man.
Oh, do you think you know me? Well, I can assure you, you don't. I have never been a fan of porn, Carla. Never. I think it's ugly and degrading.
Then why don't you join us and reschedule the midterm for everybody?
Have you ever been shunned?
No.
Well, I hope it never happens to you. What you're proposing is organized cruelty of a horrible kind. Making people ashamed, rejecting them for what they do with their own body. I've lived with that, Carla. I live with that every day. And I can tell you that shame and rejection are lethal weapons.
Well, maybe I have never been shunned, but I've been groped, I've been patronized, I have been passed over for scholarships and honors for less qualified men.
There is a world of hurt out there. I just don't want you to add to it. You do what you want. Oh, and by the way, if your midterm grade is more important to you than your cause, how seriously are we supposed to take you? If Thoreau hadn't gone to jail, do you think anyone would remember Walden Pond?
I want you out of my life. I am so sick of you dropping by my room, invading my privacy, and getting into my business.
Since when did you develop this sudden interest in American studies?
Oh, I see. If I'd chosen to take my clothes off for a gentleman's magazine, that would have been all hunky-dory because it's my life, my body. But when I choose to take a class that you don't approve of, suddenly you feel like you have veto power.
You are getting a free education at a top school. And I'm not going to let you piss it away taking Mickey Mouse classes.
Everyone says it's a great class.
You're studying tattoos. American pop culture in the 20th century. It's fluff. It's a cakewalk, and it's taught by someone who'd rather be your friend than your teacher.
Dad.
Your withdrawal slips.
Andrea, hold it. Andrea?
What?
I'm sorry.
Really? That raises so many questions, Max. Are you sorry you said it? Are you sorry you feel that way? Or are you just sorry that I was there to overhear it?
What was the second one?
You know, Professor, it'd be one thing if I felt we simply differed on our approaches to teaching American studies.
That's all it is.
No, it's not. For you, it's personal. I am so tired of fighting you in some popularity contest for the students here.
Well, that's the difference between us. You're talking about popularity. I'm thinking about their minds.
No, it's that guy, isn't it? Theo, you're wounded because your would-be protege was hanging out in my office.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Isn't it interesting that it's one of the few male students whose minds you so admire?
Well, would you prefer that I discriminated against
No,
males?
I would prefer that you lighten up.
Not see their
Why
worth
can't
because
Theo or any other
they're male?
student respect both of us? Or is that just too threatening for your narrow worldview?
If Theo or any other student respects me, I can be pretty sure it's because of my ability as a professor. I absolutely know it is not my charm, it is not my lack of student-teacher boundaries, and it is not my ass that draws students into my office looking for milk and cookies.
You hypocrite. How dare you? Only one of us has ever used his professorial status as a sexual lubricant.
Prez, you ready? I'll drive you to school.
I'll walk.
Hey, just because your sister and I fight doesn't mean we don't love each other, Belle.
Maybe, but it's not a good kind of love.
Andrea,
What?
can I talk to you for a minute?
Why?
What I said was uncalled for.
Why don't you just get little cards printed up and hand them out, Max? What I said was uncalled for. What I said was uncalled for. Or better yet, why don't you just not say all that crap in the first place?
I'm trying to apologize.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. You tried to hurt me purposefully.
Yes. Well, you're using that professorial status for sexual lubricant crack. That wasn't very kind either.
I was angry. It was a figure of speech.
Look, whatever you may think about our affair, its inappropriateness, my responsibility for it, which is true, you made it sound as if it was something casual for me. Some kind of scoreboard, professor-student seduction game. And that's just not so. It wasn't casual. It was so not casual that I was headed out the door, ready to wreck my family. And that's why I had to end it.
Why do you feel you need to tell me all this?
Because if you're gonna think so little of me, I don't want you to think so little of me for the wrong reason.
I don't think so little of you.
And I don't think so little of you.
Maybe we should just try and live in the present.
Oh, that's not my best event.
What is your best event?
Pole vaulting. And living in the past.
Pole vaulting. Elvis was beautiful, and he could sing, but his power resided in his blatant expression of sexuality. Before Elvis, you kind of had to read between the lines to find the sex in popular music, but since Elvis, it's been nearly impossible to think of one without the other.
I shouldn't have gone off on her. I was just trying to wake her up.
As you should. Shunning is a seriously bad idea. This kid is playing with fire.
Yeah.
We're not that far from Salem, are we?
80 miles in 300 years.
Not far enough.
Amen.
Still smell the witches burning.
Did they burn them there? I thought they pressed them to death with stones.
Wait a minute.
Huh. Nell's band is playing.
Want to go shopping?
For what?
Letter? It's time to shake my moneymakers. Okay.
No, this is where I'm having office hours. Okay. So, Theo, I hear you're interested in doing your senior thesis on LBJ's presidency?
Yeah.
It's great. And what attracted you to that topic?
My parents' stories. Back in the day, they used to follow Johnson from town to town, yelling at him about killing Vietnamese babies.
Okay.
Of course, they've calmed down a lot.
What are their politics now?
Now it's all about greed and big business. I'm kidding. But they did take the big payday.
You know, high ideals are really hard to hold on to when they're tested in the real world. You gotta cut them some slack.
No, you're right. I shouldn't whine. Especially when they're letting me use their cottage on the Cape this weekend.
Oh my God, cottage on the Cape. That sounds so great.
I know. 3 days of running sand dunes with my dog, building fires on the beach, digging for clams.
Oh, yes, video marathons. Curled up in a blanket on the porch, reading fiction. Staring out at the ocean. Oh, I'm jealous.
$5.
need some ID.
You're kidding.
Yeah, I am.
I'm improvising as I go along. I've got no excuse if it all goes wrong. And if you're wondering how it feels, I'm only trying to keep it real. Alright, gonna make it easy, baby. They say I'm a pretender. They say I'm a charlatan.
So I talked to Dr. Bickford about my thesis. He said that if I got permission from my departmental advisor at Amherst, I could have a Chadwick professor advise me.
That's certainly possible.
So I talked to them, and they had no problem with it.
Ah, that's terrific.
Yeah. So, are you willing?
Me?
You.
Oh. I think Dr. Bickford was counting on you asking him. LBJ, anti-war movement, Max was there. He's your man.
Oh, he knows his stuff, without a doubt. But he approaches everything so traditionally. Major events, narrow focus. You're into people's hearts, you know? Not just their policy papers. And I think I want a more human approach to the tragedy of the man.
I don't know, Theo, it's...
You're completely the right person for this. You're who I want.
Okay. I'll do it. Okay, so you were right.
I was right about one thing. You don't draw, Jack.
We'll work on that.
I was wrong about the pen, no. You don't suck.
Thanks.
Next time, we'll get you in here opening for someone who does draw. If people see you, they'll come back.
So you're gonna book us again?
That's what I said. Here, 22 bucks. Don't spend it all in one place.
You guys were so good.
Thanks for coming. I mean it.
Thank you for putting me on the list.
Hey, you didn't see Dr. Haskell, did you? Do you know who she is?
Yeah, I know her, but I didn't see her. And I'm pretty sure I would have.
Yeah, I guess she couldn't make it. Like everybody else.
Your dad seemed to dig it, though.
My dad.
Oh, yeah. He caught almost the whole set. Oh, you should have seen him. His head is bobbing. It was very cute.
He came here.
We demand to see the president.
I'll see her.
It didn't turn out the way I planned.
It never does, honey.
Theo, hey.
Hey, Dr. Bickford.
You hear from your advisor at Amherst? Any luck?
Yeah, actually, they said it was fine.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the advice. But I should tell you, I asked Dr. Haskell to advise me. I kind of felt like you and I had such a similar point of view that it'd be helpful to use someone with a fresh perspective. Plus, I wanted to...
Fine. Best of luck with it. I'll see you in class on Tuesday.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
The piper's tune grew louder and louder in Schuyler's head until he realized he'd been fooled too. Maybe there was no Pied Piper. Maybe Schuyler was just losing his touch. I don't know why I'm taking this so personally.
You don't?
No, I don't. And it's not because he's a guy, okay? I'm not sexist. I'm gonna spend my entire career at a women's college if I were.
So what's your problem, Max?
Did I ever tell you that I was Professor of the Year in 1987?
Nope, never did.
It's because it didn't mean much to me. I knew I was the best. Didn't need a plaque to tell me. Oh, God. Whatever happened to that guy?
He started drinking.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Now I worry what 21-year-olds think of me.
What he thinks of you is none of your business.
I know that. It's just that I can't turn it off, okay? I've been acting like an idiot to everyone, to Nell. I'm scared, Garvis. I don't want to be replaced.
Look, you know who you are. And you still don't need a plaque to tell you, or any 21-year-old kid.
Theo. Hey, thought I'd find you here.
Hi, puppy.
This is Henry.
Aww.
I know I should have called first, but thought this way it'd be harder to refuse.
Refuse what?
Cinema Paradiso on DVD and a frisbee fetching dog. Cottage on the Cape, clam bake, bad fiction. Andrea, I don't need to remind you that I'm not even enrolled at Chadwick. I'm an Amherst student, so what do you say?
What you making?
Roast. There's plenty.
Cool. Less your call. More homework trouble.
It's almost ready. Want to set the table?
Yeah, okay. I got my poli-sci paper back today.
And?
Aced it.
Hey, I saw some of your flyers on the campus for your band. When's the show?
It was last night.
Oh. How'd it go?
Fair. I think we're gonna get another gig there.
Well, when you do, let me know. I want to see you sometime.
Yeah, sure.
What are you doing here?
Your homework, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Go get the cups.
Maybe Schuyler had been right in the first place. There really was only one thing he could count on. He'd just been wrong about what that one thing was. Next on the education of Max Bickford.
Mom was Jewish. I'm Jewish. I should be bar mitzvah.
And when did we decide this?
Everyone needs a little faith now and then.
What the hell good is it?
I feel like I want to learn about God.
I can talk to you about God.
No, you can't. You don't believe in him.
Do you not see the pain of your own son?
It is not that I don't believe in God. It's that I really don't know.
Laura San Giacomo stars in Jennifer, CBS Next.
This Wednesday, The Amazing Race takes you to the most exotic location yet.
India!
Where the culture...
I've never seen anything like this.
Pam for what? Getting us lost? And the crush of humanity...
We can't take you!
...could lead more than one team to the breaking point.
You lied to me! I cannot deal with